George, you don't tell me when to start the meeting, pal. Just because you're a little slow tonight, have a seat.
I want to make sure my laptop is open and ready to go.
Yeah, you got paper. You're good. Your paper's good.
No, it's okay. I follow along.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah. All right, you ready? So can I have everyone please rise for the pledge? Okay. I'd like to welcome everyone to the March 21st, 2022 Town of Mike McGinn meeting. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry, Town of Monroe meeting. So I'd like to make a motion to open tonight's meeting. Do I have a second? I'll second. Call the question.
Bingham, aye. All aye.
Cardone, aye. Okay. First item on the agenda is Monroe Clean Sweep. We have the date still set, April 23rd. We had a meeting this morning with the committee. Everything seems to be in order. Once again, electronic recycling will be at Highway at 87 Mine Road. The tire recycling, paper shredding, and the Clean Sweep event will commence at St. Anastasia Church parking lot, the parking lot up on top behind both parishes. That said, we had a great event here yesterday. We had a Eagle Scout ceremony for actually A.J. Roberts, who was the first young man that came to us with an Eagle Scout project. He did our triple flagpole out front. And then we had Aiden Corrado, who did a really great job on the picnic tables that we currently use at Orange and Rockland Park. And it was a great day. We had a representative from Senator Scoofus's office here, and we had Senator Mike Martucci and his secretary, Jane, who were here as well. Well done by these two young men. They were absolutely as gracious as anyone could be. And it was funny because you'll never see two full-bearded Eagle Scouts again. They're 2 years removed from their projects because of COVID. So that was just awesome. Did you want to go over anything? What did I think you were going to go over? Not.
Thank you, George.
Talking about the open house? Or, we had a meeting since then, that's right.
Yeah, we had a meeting.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything
We've had a couple of meetings
No,
since
okay.
open
pending going
house.
on.
All right. One other thing I want to say is, so Saturday I had to come over to Town Hall and pick up a couple items, and on my way over on Stage Road, I happened to run into the infamous Johnny Debris. And let me tell you something. I took your photo, and we'll make sure it gets out in our constant contact at the end of the month. So, and he went from what I believe was Hobart Ward Drive all the way down to 17M, and he was coming down Stage Road when I left Town Hall and was driving down. He was just about halfway up. So thank you for cleaning that up. It was a prerequisite to Clean Sweep, and we'll definitely use that photo as a promo for everybody else to get out for Clean Sweep. So thank you for doing that, Johnny. You're welcome. Okay. Next item up is a motion to open up the continuation of the public hearing regarding proposed amendments to local law D-V1 amending Chapter 57 to amend the special permit requirements applicable to hotels. I'll make a motion to open that. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
O'Toole, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Okay,
No
so
public
moved.
comment.
No comment. I know that we have still not heard back from the county? We haven't. Okay. And that has expired, the time frame they had to get back to us, right?
Well, it's 30 days from their receipt or 2 days before you take the final action, so
February 28th, or that was one of the other ones?
It was actually prior to that. I'm
No,
pretty
it was
sure.
prior to that, so it's all, yeah. Yeah, that was the HI zone.
yeah, the HI zone is the
It was
one that we
February
need more
28th,
time
yeah.
on.
Okay.
So are we, I guess at this point, we can go ahead and adopt, I mean, can we do that this evening, or do we need a,
I don't know if this will adopt, honestly. I think you were expecting to continue, but I don't know. I haven't spoken to Matt.
Okay.
I think there was a couple items still hanging out there that we had to address.
all right, very good.
So,
Yeah, I'd recommend continue.
Yeah, I spoke to Max tonight on the way home about several other issues, but I didn't bring that up, so.
motion to keep open the continuation of the public hearing regarding proposed amendments to local law D-V1, amending Chapter 57 to amend the special permit requirements applicable to hotels at 7 p.m. or immediately thereafter on Monday, April 18th.
Second that.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
O'Toole, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McKenna,
So moved. We need a motion to open the continuation of public hearing for the proposed amendments to local law E-V1, amending Chapter 57 to establish a two-family dwelling overlay for the area of the town of Monroe north of Route 17.
make that motion.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
O'Toole, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McKenna,
So moved. No public comment?
so just, actually, as I was saying a few minutes ago, I spoke with the planner on the way home this evening in the car about that zoning proposal, and we're going to have a meeting a little bit later on in the week, probably a Zoom meeting to firm up some of the points that are still hanging out there, and hopefully after that we'll be able to have present it and then go forward with adopting it and sending it to the county and all the other necessary things we need to do to make it a local law.
Councilman McGinn, is the map finished that Max was working on?
I think it is, although the last one I had was from January 7th, and that was part of the conversation. And part of the other conversation is that there's a companion law, the sewer law, that we want to, that he has to firm that up as well. And that sewer law basically is, would dovetail with this zoning concept. And so those are that's where we are with that.
Is there anything being worked on as far as the rate at which properties that have already been cleared in the front of it have to be reforested? Is there a formula that the planning board uses?
It's already in our tree code, I believe, in the comp
Yeah, it's in
plan.
the tree code, and I think in the local law, there was in the proposed local law, there was an amount that you could clear, but there was also.
Right, there was 50%.
Right, I think it was 50%. And then the other thing, though, is one of the other issues that's kind of out there is sidewalks, and whether we were going to require the owners of the properties to put in sidewalks.
Right.
So that you could have sidewalks over there, because that's something they seem, the people.
Having that area to be
Right,
walkable is
and,
important, yeah.
So then that kind of also goes to, well, how much do you need to clear more trees to put in the sidewalks? And,
Right,
you
which
know,
is why I'm kind of wondering if there's a formula that would be used, but
Yeah.
it's already in the tree plan and the code.
Yeah,
Okay, so then that's the
Yeah.
formula that
And
would
I think,
apply.
and I think Max wrote into the law, the 50%.
Right, he
Yeah.
wrote into the law 50%, but then made another provision that if the front had been completely cleared,
Right.
completely deforested, that they would need to
Already.
provide,
Yeah.
already, they would
Yeah.
need to provide a tree plan
Right.
to make up for that. And I was just wondering if there was a formula to state how many trees need to be planted based on the,
Yeah.
okay.
One final question. This is still going before the planning board?
It hasn't gone before the planning
No,
board
but
yet.
the way it's written, these applicants were still going to the planning board?
That's one of the other things that has to get worked out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's a.
Because those are, you know, those are the kind of the major issues with it right now.
Okay.
And if you're around, you know, I'm going to speak to him, hopefully on Wednesday, he's going to be here for the workshop session, and then we can kind of nail down a time. I was in the car, so I couldn't really look at my phone and say, hey, I'm free Thursday at 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. or whatever, because I didn't want to, you know, crash, so. But yeah, we'll try to nail that down so we can get this moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we carry this over to the April 18th meeting, April 18th meeting at 7 p.m. or immediately thereafter.
Okay, I'll second it. Call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Well, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Oh, aye.
Can I?
I'll make a motion to open up the public hearing for A-V1 to consider the adoption of local law to amend Chapter 57 concerning the heavy industry zone, which are proposed amendments to the HI zone. That's over, well, it's the HI zone.
I'll second it.
Call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Well, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Make it aye.
Public comment unless.
Counsel, can you just briefly go over the bullet points for that?
So this is it's before the town board on a petition. We provided the town with a red line version, so this would be a petition by an applicant seeking to make certain text changes, as they would call them, in the zoning code in Chapter 57. One of them is the height, concerning height of buildings. It would be an increase from 40 to 50 feet. There is a request to modify the off-street parking requirements, which is another provision. Then there is the amendment to the table itself. I don't have the column in front of me, but columns 10 and 11. I have to pull up the table to see what those changes are specifically. Initially started out as a Monroe and Integer application. We had one before the town board once before. It never went forward. It was only to amend the height at that time, and then another application came in, and this one had, I believe it was 4 changes. Increase in maximum building height, 40 to 50, allowance of deductions and parking requirements, modifications to the calculation of gross lot area, and there was a change in the application of the maximum lot coverage zone. Red line version tells you what would change, and then there's an amendment of the bulk table that shows in red line. For example, maximum lot coverage would change from 65% to 75%, and the building height from 40 to 50. Those would be the two changes in the schedule of district regulations for the HI district. Sorry for my Barry White voice tonight.
And what is the parking, is it,
Parking is to increase the off-street parking requirements, and it was to basically add in the HI district under Chapter 5747 and how the methods for determining off-street parking requirements are done. So at the time of site plan approval within the business park, now it adds or in the HI district, the adequacy of accessory parking and truck loading spaces shall be subject to review and determination by the planning board. And then after they consider the parking needs and a study, it basically takes that language and just adds the HI district so that the planning board can determine off-street parking rather than having a rigid formula. They'd be able to be flexible with it basically as a business park. And for your information, we do, I think, have Lee Lefkowitz, who is an attorney with the applicant, in case there's any questions of the applicant.
Thank you. Have any questions?
I just had a question. Warehouses, I also believe, are in the LI zone. Can we have Max look at that just to make sure it's consistent warehouse between the LI and warehouse between the HI?
In other words, you want the requirements to be consistent
Yes,
in both?
in both, yeah.
Yeah, I think, Mary, that LI is already 50 feet, but I think the parking.
But
would
the
prob-
parking,
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause I think there's 75 on lot coverage and.
Yeah, so if we
and,
could just have Max double check
yeah.
on that since you're going to talk to him.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. So what do we do from here, Mr. Nugent? Do we approve the text changes, or what's the?
Oh, we need to.
Gotta wait till the 24th, right?
Yeah, so the GML referral went out on February 22nd, so the county has to be allowed 30 days to respond.
Okay.
So that would be Thursday, the 24th. So either way, we would need to at least continue this to the next meeting to allow that time to pass. And if we don't get a response, then we can move forward. If we do, depending on what they say, we may have to, make changes or override recommendations, or if they just make comments that we don't have to override, we can consider them, if the board wants to. And then I think, it's just a matter if the board wants to proceed, or if you want to ensure consistency, we can talk to Max about the warehouses versus the HI, the LI rather.
I think that consistency is a very good point, Councilwoman Bingham, and I think giving the county more than a week after the deadline would be proper. So if we schedule it for the 18th, it gives them 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Make that motion, or
Sure, unless, if nobody has anything else to add.
make a motion that we keep the public hearing open until the 18th, 7 p.m. or.
Second.
Question?
Bingham, aye.
Aye.
Cardone, aye.
Ancarello, aye.
Again, aye.
Okay, so moved. Next item up is, and my wording was incorrect here, so this is not a public hearing. I clarified that with council today, that we're going to be setting for the Orange County Dinosaur Park. It's a public information session so that everyone can get up to snuff on whatever the questions they may have, and we'll obviously have a presentation from the prospective owners and hopefully answer everyone's questions and concerns. So I'd like to set that for the 18th as well, and it would just be a public information session, because there's no actual law, or what was the other?
Well, normally you have a public hearing either for a local law or if there was a special permit or something, but this is really just a lease, by the town of town property, so you normally would not have any reason to have a public hearing for that.
Now, there will be a public hearing for the planning board once it goes through
Yeah,
that
so-
process.
Right, this would, assuming the lease is approved and goes forward, then, the planning board would do the site plan approval, and part of that would include a public hearing. But, that would also, at that point, you'd have plans and all the specifics and everything that would be required, and the planning board would conduct secra, because they're, really the primary approval here is a site plan. We could consider it, sort of a co-lead agency, because we are approving the lease, but most of the review of any environmental issues is going to be before the planning board as part of the project and site plan approval. So people will have an opportunity to comment on the specifics once we have that actual site plan application submitted.
All right, so I would just like to make a motion to set the public information date for the Orange County Dinosaur Park for April 18th, 2022.
I'll second that.
Call the question?
Aye.
Poole, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
And I,
Okay, so moved. Next item is the acceptance of the March 7th minutes. I'll make a motion to accept those minutes.
Bring them to second.
Any changes, alterations, corrections? No? Call the question.
Aye.
Poole, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
and I,
Okay, so moved. Next up is the general fund abstract for town. Have general fund abstract 22-05 containing checks 28294 through 28353 in the amount of $271,528.68. So, yeah. Questions? Question?
Bingham, aye.
Poole, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
and I,
Okay. Next is the escrow fund abstract 22-02 containing checks 2015 through 2017 totaling $17,918.75. I'll make a motion to approve that.
Bring them to second.
Any other concerns? Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Poole, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
and I,
Okay. Item number 7.1 on the agenda is a Highway Department budget transfer. They would like to transfer $155,004.57 from highway purchase of equipment to highway machinery equipment. So I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Poole, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
and I,
So moved. Okay. Next up is we have a request from a Water District 14 resident. Would you like to come on up? Just give us your name, where you live, and what your concerns are. Good evening.
Evening.
Oh, yeah, just turn up.
A switch on the top there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
I got it.
You got-
Great,
State your name and everything
thank
again.
you. Travis Cripper, 421 Hillside Road. I would like to know a little bit more about this water district and what the agenda is and what the deadlines are and who I can speak with going forward with regard to that.
Or as a water district, it is a water district. There was a petition brought up by the residents 6-7 years ago? Yeah. And at that time, the residents, that area was serviced by a private company that wasn't providing good service. So the residents came to the town board to form a water district. And they had a petition. It was signed by more than 51% of the residents there. And it's been a process, but it is an official water district, and it's been so for quite a few years.
So what's the progress since we've started this water district and what can I expect going forward? I actually don't use the municipal water. I never have. I don't know how many years I've been taxed for this, but I did notice it on my last bill, and I looked into it. I was taxed the prior bill as well, but I don't recall ever getting a bill for this because I'm on a well.
Then, well, it doesn't matter if you have a well or if you don't have a well, you're part of the district. Just
Yes.
like, like you're in the fire district or the ambulance district. It's something that you would find on your tax bill. Since you're not using water, that area also doesn't have meters. So you just get charged a flat yearly fee. It's not like you use 10,000 gallons of water and there's a water bill sent to you every quarter.
Okay, with all due respect, I do think there's a difference. I have cable lines going through the entire district. I don't get a cable bill. It's because I don't subscribe to cable. So I'm being charged for something that I'm not using, and presumably won't be using ever. I have a decision now to make whether I need to fix my well or get on municipal water. I'd much prefer to fix the well. But I want to know going forward, what is going to be more cost-effective for me? Has there been a survey? Has a survey been done on my property?
What do you mean by a survey?
Well,
Like,
in other words, if I called you tomorrow and said, hey, I want to be part of the water district, and I want to get my water from the town.
Just so we clarify,
You
you
are.
are part of the water district?
Yeah. Right.
You're just not hooked in. So are you asking,
So,
if
yes.
you called us tomorrow and you wanted to be hooked in?
Hooked in, correct.
Okay, all right.
Would I be able to do so?
yes,
Okay, so everything, the infrastructure is set up.
there should be a curb box that would have to be placed, and you would have to have a new tap into probably the water, because I'm not quite sure, your house is currently getting water from the well, but you don't have they call it cross connection.
Oh, there's a hookup there,
There's a hookup, but he doesn't have the cross connection cutoff.
correct.
So he would have to put that in if he was going to continue using his well. So that's an added cost.
So who pays for it? So,
If you want to use your well
right,
to get the cross connection backflow, I forgot the exact name, but
Backflow preventer.
preventer, you would be responsible for that.
okay.
And you have to go
So you
to
could-
you'd have to go to the county with an engineering report as well.
And you couldn't be hooked up to your well and public water.
Correct.
it's
right.
one
It
or
would
the
be
other.
One or the other.
Right.
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 And that's where I'm at right now. I prefer to use my well. But I'm being charged for something that I'm not getting.
Well, let me just have our attorney explain that to you so you can understand that. I understand you're not getting it, but you also got to look at it. We're a municipality, and like Mary said, you have a fire district. Thank God you don't have a fire. You're paying for that protection, but you may never use them.
There are things I'm happy to pay for as a citizen. Believe you me. I don't
Yeah.
have kids in school. I pay for school, and I'm fine with that. I'm not here to discuss the school.
Yeah, so-
right? You know,
so-
I don't drive. I pay for the roads, right?
Right.
You know, and I'm happy to do so. There are certain things that really I have no problem paying for. But this is a little different here. You know, this is not. I don't know how this is even legal.
Let our counsel explain it to you
Yeah,
so you
please.
can.
So the way it works in a water district is every property pays into the system. Whether you have a house on it, you don't have a house, whether you have a well, no matter where you get your water, as with respect to operations and maintenance and the cost of the district, you're not paying for water because you're not getting town water. You don't have that bill where other people do. But once you have a connection available to you in the road, if there's a line that you can connect your house to, the reality is the value of your property is increased because you have the ability to connect to municipal water. And so every property in that district must pay toward that operation and maintenance cost for the water district, regardless of whether you actually hook up. And even vacant properties pay something because their value is also improved because of the fact that they have the ability to connect if a house was built there versus having no line at all. So I get your point that you feel like you're paying for nothing and you're not getting any benefit, but you have the opportunity to have the benefit of the municipal water, and that may or may not mean anything to you, but that's just the way the law is structured. We can't, the water district can't have this parcel saying, well, I don't want to be part of that, and then we have sort of a hodgepodge system of parcels instead of a actual district where everybody is included.
So we know for certain that I have the ability to connect.
My understanding is you can connect.
You 100% have the ability to connect, and I believe the photos that I got, because our water department went out there about 2 weeks ago, is that you already have a main and a curb valve that is right outside your house.
Again, this is the taxpayers, the residents come to us and say, hey, we want to form a district. and they get 50% to 51% of the residents to say, we want to do it. So it's democratically done. It's not like we as the town board impose it on you and say, you must form a water district. That's not what it's about. It's the residents coming to us because of substandard service or the abandonment of a system or whatever. I live in one of those districts as well here. And so I just don't want you to think it's like us.
No,
or-
it's not, no, I
Yeah.
understand that, yeah.
But once that the petition with 51% of the house owners or landowners come forward and say, yes, we want to form this, then.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what do I do as one of the 49% that say, I don't want this? So if I wanted to pursue suit, who would I contact?
Here's what I would
What
do.
about the other 49% of us?
I would contact an attorney and get advice from attorney, because I don't think we're at liberty here to tell you what to do with that.
Right.
You asking how to connect, or?
Are you asking?
Well, if I get an attorney or if I file a complaint, who am I addressing this to? I need names.
Addressing it to me, the supervisor.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to challenge what you're paying, then you need an attorney. But if you're looking for advice on how to connect or get the benefit, obviously the town can tell you
Yeah,
that.
Right, which is unlikely because I do want to keep using the well. But, okay.
and I guess you just
be
have to
aware,
figure
there is
out-
a cross-connection law, too. You have to comply with that as well.
Cross-connection for,
Cross-connection to prevent contamination, because there is some type of a line going to the main from the picture that I got from Tommy. You saw
Yes.
that one? Yeah. So you need a backflow preventer. I had a hard time with that one today, sorry. So there's an added layer that you're going to have to participate with if you're going to hook up your own well.
well, it's already there. It's already hooked up.
But you need a backflow preventer, and you have to prepare an engineering report and present it to the county.
If
That's
you're-
only if he wants to
If you-
connect to the
If
municipal
I want to
water.
connect to the
No,
municipal.
that's if he wants to use his well. He needs that backflow preventer.
Saying because he has a line on the property
Yes,
that's already connected to the house?
yes. That was a cross-connection contamination law we passed
Yeah,
a
so, yeah, I
couple of
mean, I'm
years
just
ago.
trying to understand his infrastructure. So if you have a line connected to your house, there needs to be a device there to prevent backflow from your, I assume, the well water going into the town system for contamination purposes.
Okay,
Or it needs to be shut off or disconnected somehow.
but now how do I go about doing that? Or if I
Well,
don't have it, in other words?
Which do you want to do? Have the line disconnected, or?
The well line or the
No,
municipal?
the public, our line. You
At
want?
this point, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not using it, and it's not coming from there, right? So I don't even know if it's connected.
But from what the water department told me, it is connected.
It is
Is.
connected.
They just have to disconnect it, we'll shut it off and then disconnect it.
So in terms of the water going forward, is there water available now to the residents?
Yes.
Yes,
This
they're
district?
all
Right,
getting
they're
water
all
over
get-
there.
Okay,
They're all part of the water district. There may be another house or two that has a well. 6
I
over
think
there.
there's
Okay.
quite a few more than that have a well.
They may not be using it. They may have a well, but they may not be using it.
I think what you have to do is kind of do your own cost analysis and see, hey, is
Right.
it cheaper, more cost-effective for me to hook up to the town's, the water district system, or to make, because you kind of alluded to that, you needed to do repairs to your well, and whether it's cheaper whether it's go deeper in your well or line it or whatever, replace the pump, whatever it is that you need to do, and that's going to be the end result of which route you take as far as either staying with what you have or connecting to the town system.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And they can give you ballpark numbers on what that would be like, what that would cost,
You'd
Not,
be able to do that?
you know what your costs are
No,
for the well.
not us.
Not us,
Right,
no,
yeah.
but
But I'd be able to figure out
Yeah.
now,
Right.
who would I go to for that?
Whoever you're well.
No, I mean for the municipal. If I wanted to do some research and find out how much it would cost per month or quarter, I don't know how it goes.
So right now, it's $151.99, I believe. I'm sorry, a quarter.
$154.99 a quarter?
$151.99.
A quarter.
And
Is there
then,
a flat
and then
fee?
there's also a $35
Yeah,
quarterly charge, maintenance, administrative fee.
administrative fee.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll do my
If you
own
need,
research
if
then.
you have any questions, we've spoken numerous
Yeah,
times.
yeah, and I appreciate all the information.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you've
so
given,
just
yeah.
call myself, call the water
Yeah.
department here. It's our finance department, and we'll answer whatever questions you
Great.
need.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much.
All right, thank you.
Right.
Thanks for
Take
coming
care.
down.
Travis, thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is item 8.2, which is to discuss and approve the hiring of Alyssa Kizik for the position of Assistant to the Building Inspector at a rate of $21 an hour and a start date of April 4, 2022. She's been qualified for this position through Orange County Civil Service certification of all eligibles. She's completed the exam, which is number 670. I will make a motion. I will tell you, well, I'll make the motion to approve that. I'll wait for a second.
I'll second.
Okay.
Discussion?
For a discussion, yeah. So I sat in the interview process with her. She was extremely customer service oriented. She currently works for social services. I believe she already has given them their notice or was going to give them notice tomorrow. But I thought she was very well suited for the position. So nice personality, seemed like a hard worker, problem solver, so.
Right, and she's not going to have any training under Deborah? Because no, Ben will be doing the training?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
This is full-time?
this is full-time.
Full-time.
So Alex resigned a few weeks ago. Okay, call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Pool, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Ancarello, aye.
Good night.
Okay. Item 9.1, that ZBA alternate appointment, I'd like to table to April 4th. Mike and the applicant have missed each other's phone calls over the weekend, so
I'll second.
call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Pool, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Ancarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay, thank you. Item 9.2, the IMA Independence Day fireworks. We've essentially approved in a form that is conducive to our council, but we need to approve the dollar amount. So I would like to make a motion to approve that dollar amount for the village fireworks. And, no, wait, somebody else, yeah. I'll make the motion to approve the dollar amount of $7,500.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Pool, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Ancarello, aye.
Good night.
Now, did you,
Make a motion for the
Okay.
supervisor to sign the IMA agreement.
thank you.
Pool will second.
Call the
So the
question.
board understands, we did modify that. That's why we're doing a separate resolution, just to have it read as a continuing IMA each year. You'll just do a resolution now every year for the amount.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Expert opinion.
Hingham, aye.
Pool, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Ancarello, aye.
Good night.
Okay. Item 10.1, public comment.
Commissioner.
I think, John, I think you got to turn the mic on because Travis turned it off. Yeah, he shut it off, so it's on the top. Right on top. There you go.
Hello? That's it.
There you go.
All right.
Live, you're live.
Okay, John Deschner, also known as Johnny Debris, right? I just want to let you know, I'm not done with Stage Road yet. I got one little spot,
All right, that's great.
but you know what? Where I cleaned up, there's already garbage already. And garbage on Stage Road is almost like snow. You get these flurries, you know. And, but anyway, I enjoy it. I got people thanking me. You know, this guy in a convertible blowing his horn, thank you, thank you. And I got people stopping their trucks, taking pictures of me.
Listen, you know, you got to be impressed by that you got a resident that's,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
it's not even
Absolutely.
his specific, you know, road that he lives on. It's an adjacent road, and I.
Yeah, well,
listen,
I'll tell you something. Once things start, you know, I took a little break with the pandemic. My wife didn't want me picking up garbage, but now I'm back. I used to do Rye Hill Road all the way to the top.
Really?
Yeah, we did Rye Hill Road, and you know what? This was the worst I've ever done. Danny Burke. I went to high school with Danny Burke 3 years in a row. We were in the same class in Cardinal Hayes. We did Scunnamunk Road. It was the worst. It was the worst.
Scunnamunk is the most
Scunnamunk Road,
despicable and disgusting road.
Oh, my
That
God.
is filled with garbage.
We
clean it anywhere between 2 to 3 times a year, aside from Clean Sweep.
Yeah, we pulled out about 6 bags of garbage out of there. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it was, and I'll tell you.
Oh, no, we got more than that. We each had 6. I know I had 6
No,
myself.
the 4 of us had 6 each.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Stage Road, you know, because they don't have many houses there. Wherever there are many houses, that's where they like to throw the garbage, you know. And it's not the senior citizens that are doing this. You know, on spring break it gets worse, and you know, holidays and stuff. So, but anyway, I enjoy doing it, and it's the only thing I have right now. And I would have finished that little spot, but you saw me, I had a fundraiser in front of the church there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, my knees locked up on me out there with the cold. But, you know, the thing I wanted to talk about tonight is from here on in, we all have to educate people on how important it is to vote. Years ago, when I came up here, 46 years ago, the bicentennial year, I worked in Wall Street, Water Street. It took me 2 hours to get to work, a little over 2 hours to get home. And I get home at 7:30. I don't want to go out and vote, you know. But we're going to have to do it because back then I would say, oh, I'll let the local people take care of the local stuff. I trust them, you know. But these days, everybody has to vote. The last election, out of 5,440 registered voters in the village of Monroe, 885 voted for the mayor, Neil Dwyer. Now that's 16% of the vote, and we're going to have to do better. There's, you know, to preserve this town, we have so many things at stake, and this is on the town level, on the village level, and I mean the village has that reservoir. And that is a tremendous asset. And so from here on in, you're going to hear me talk about voting. Get out there and vote. And the other thing is the write-in ballots. Can't we get away from write-in ballots and have an open election where everybody that wants to run is on the ballot?
Well, that would have to be addressed with the Board of Elections. We don't have,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
oversight
I'm
with
just
that.
saying, on every level of government, I really don't like these write-in elections. This last election, It was, I mean, I don't know why they have it in March. I mean, it's the worst time to have election. And then it's the community is a commuting community, and they usually don't vote in these local elections, and it's something we really have to talk about. I'd like for everybody to talk it up, all your friends, on any level, how important it is to get the vote. But anyway, this last election, suppose there was another candidate,
Sure, you would have had
well, and it was equal,
quite a bit more
so
people
then it would
out.
have been 420 votes.
That's right. That's right.
Now, it's very easy to have a write-in vote for 450 votes, if you really are organized. And
No
it's
question.
just-
It was done in South Blooming Grove.
South Blooming Grove had
Yeah.
this simplest thing, yeah. It's just not fair. It's just not, in a way, it's sort of underhand. You wait and
No transparency.
no transparency. The last minute you come in, you vote, and you bring all these people in, and they just, they steal the election. So,
Hey, Johnny, you know what? Down the city, that's how de Blasio got elected, because 38% of the people turned out to vote out of a city of 8 million people. I don't know
Yeah.
how many voters that is.
Yeah,
So
it's,
it's not just something that is here. Unfortunately, it's everywhere where people
right.
don't get involved. And we've made, I know Dory in particular has made a
Yeah.
point to try to, like when new people move up here from the city, like I moved up here from the city, you moved up. I went to All Hallows, by the way. You're the rival to Cardinal Hayes, So it happens everywhere. And yeah, you're 100% right.
it does. And I'll tell you something. I was talking to one of my neighbors. She moved in a couple of years ago, and she from South Africa, and we were talking about the voting, and I told her how important. And she says, Americans don't take their voting serious. They really have to do a better job taking their votes serious.
Especially locally.
Yeah, you gotta vote.
And locally is where your vote makes the most impact.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you have to get the numbers.
All right, Johnny, my husband served in Afghanistan in 2008 with the Army, with the 101 Cav. And one of the things that he had to do in Afghanistan was he had to provide security for the Afghans who came out to vote. Some of them walked 40 miles to get
Oh, my God, yeah.
the polls, right?
Yeah.
And they had to, the Army was charged with the responsibility of making sure that there was no violence against the voters.
Yeah.
And yet we have a voting poll location, probably I'd say within 2 miles of everyone's homes, and it's difficult to get them to come out to vote.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
It's-
like I say, the people in this village and town, they got to make an extra effort. And I went through it. I was in that group where when I come home at 7:30, quarter to 8, I want to have a sandwich and a beer and go to bed.
Go to
And I
bed.
get up 5:30 the next morning. That's the routine. So that's all I have to say. And I'm going to be talking about this, so don't get board. I think you have to educate everybody, talk to your neighbors, talk to everybody about whether you're voting in the town, the village, no matter where you're voting. So,
John, we discussed earlier, the last election that I was participating in was a squeaker because of the absentee ballots.
oh, yeah.
So, people come out to the polls and vote, but also those that cannot
Yeah.
need to use their privilege to use their absentee ballots.
Yeah, you had, what, 5 votes or something? Or?
It ended up being about
9?
13.
Huh?
13 in the very
Oh,
end.
gee. Anyway, I got one more thing, you should always, every day, try to say something good about somebody. And today, I want to compliment Ward Brower.
Well, it's good you are, because you took up his speaking time.
I took up all his time.
That's Great.
No, I took up all his sites. No, but I'm telling you, here's a guy, he grew up in Monroe, he grew up on a farm, and you need 10 or 15. You got to get more people.
Oh, I know,
Like
listen.
Ward Broward, yeah,
because
absolutely.
people have ideas, and Ward Brower is here every meeting. He's been here for 10 years. And,
10 years. He's been here for more
20
like
years.
30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
And he's a perfect gentleman, and he presents his case, and he's an all-American guy, and I'd like for you to give him a hand.
Yes, always. And, yeah, Ward, if you could just come up here and stand, because Johnny if you could just remain standing, because we're going to stand, because Johnny reminded me of what I forgot to say before. I just wanted to have a moment of silence for the 4 Marines that were killed this past weekend over in Norway. Captain Matthew Tomkowitz, Captain Ross Reynolds, Gunnery Sergeant James Speedy, and Corporal Jacob Moore. Okay, thank you.
Amen. Just one word, Ward Brower. Private citizen. Does he have a vest?
Yes.
Good.
He had a nice orange day-glow
He's
shirt
a
on.
resource person. in this town.
Yeah, he had a nice orange sweatshirt.
Good, I was concerned about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was all I had.
But
It's the first thing I
would-
saw when he saw the picture.
I would actually take money out of your budget to get him a vest.
I would volunteer to do that.
No, we have extras. If anyone needs, Johnny, if anyone wants to join you and you need a reflective vest, we'd be happy to give you one, 2, whatever it takes. Yep, exactly.
Thank
All right, thank
That's
you.
it, folks.
Thank you, Ward.
Thank you, Ward.
Thank you, Ward.
Take care, Ward.
He's a man of few words.
Anyone else want to speak?
Du-
Mr. Deutsch?
Please. No words of wisdom. Come on. Nothing?
Ward said it all.
Hey, Johnny, maybe what you should do instead of picking up garbage is stand outside Bagel World or ShopRite on a Sunday and hand out voter registration cards to people so they can sign up. And then maybe they'll sign up and it'll be nice.
Or maybe they'll crumple them up and there'll be more garbage for you to pick up.
You'll find it on Stage Road when they throw it out the window. Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely, yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, if nobody else has anything to say, I want to take this opportunity to wish my oldest son a happy 22nd birthday. He's still in South Korea, so
God bless him.
Employed with the
Thanks for his
the
service.
Army?
he's deployed with the Army, Field Artillery, yep.
All right.
He's a
Well,
rocket man,
All right. We'd like
yep.
happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
Harrison.
for sure.
Happy birthday, Harrison is right. Anybody else have anything? I don't believe we have anything for executive session. Why isn't it not showing up on my? See, this is what I was talking about today.
Want to borrow my paper?
No.
I have it.
And I thought we did, and then I'm looking, I go, oh, maybe we. Okay, so I'll make a motion to, thank you, Val. I'll make a motion to go into executive session
I'll second.
Attorney-client, personnel.
for what Mary said.
Okay.
Who
Okay.
will second?
Well, question.
Bingham, aye.
Who'll aye?
Going aye.
Oh, aye.
Begin I.
So moved. Thank you. The Major George. All right. And sing. All right, I'll make a motion to return to the scheduled March 21st meeting from executive session.
Bingham to second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye.
Pancarello, aye.
Again, aye.
Okay, so there were two items we discussed regarding resolutions.
Yep, so I'd like to make a motion that we allow a tour of Town Hall for the Girl Scouts, the Heart of the Hudson Girl Scouts in Monroe.
What's the,
On Wednesday, March 30th, from 5 PM to 6:30 PM? Yeah, that sounds about good.
Bingham to second.
question? Call the question.
Aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye.
Pancarello, aye.
Again, aye.
So moved. Next up was a conversation regarding a Finance Department employee, Jackie Matuszewski.
Yes, I'll make a motion that she receive an hourly rate increase from $19.50 to $22.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion on that? Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye.
Aye.
And aye.
Okay, so moved. That said,
Hey, just, hey
Adjourn?
Val, could you do me a favor?
Yeah,
That
I'm
that
waiting for him.
email that went
Make that
out
motion.
from the Wright Hill Reserve people that had the updated maps. Could you forward those to the planning board? Oh, they got them? Okay. All right, thanks. Just because we haven't gotten the other plans yet. I just want to make sure they have something ahead of the meeting on Wednesday. But I know Tony just reached out to the,
yeah, she got, I CC'd her on it. so,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, we're on top of it. You show up on time to the meeting again.
Speaking of meetings,
was-
I'd like to
I
make a
was-
motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye.
Pancarello, aye.
Mick and I.
All right, so moved.